Hi Ducks. So, this is the first video I've done since my operation. So as you can tell, I can talk. I have to talk a little bit quieter and it's a bit deeper than it was. But on the whole, my throat surgery was a bit of more of a success than my surgeon thought it would be. So as you know from previous videos I've done talking about the surgery and stuff, you all know that my surgeon advised me that after I had the mass removed from the side of my voice box, my voice may be a lot worse than it was at the time, and as you would have seen from the videos, it was pretty bad. I believe one of the last videos I did, I kind of sounded like a Dalek, especially when I put the camera on to record on for Instagram on my phone, which I sometimes have here in the front. I sounded like a Dalek. The surgery was a lot of a success in the sense that when I went for the surgery, I was expecting to be in a position afterwards where I wouldn't be able to talk very well, or my voice would be distorted. I think the surgeon who did the operation basically did a better job than he initially thought he would do. And well, maybe I don't, it's very confusing to say, because as I say, this, how I am sounding now, how I am presenting now, the fact that I can still do the radio show Saturdays 2 till 4, Spectrum Voice FM, is a blessing. It is a blessing, because I was really worried that I would have a lot of difficulty talking, and as you know from watching these videos in the past and maybe listening to me on the radio, my voice has been very bad over the last 18 months to 2 years, and it's deteriorated. It deteriorated a lot worse, a lot more so in the last 6 months. I am overly relieved that I can communicate. I want to thank my doctor, who I believe his surname is Saipal. I believe his surname is Saipal. He did a fantastic job. I think what he said initially when he said your voice was when I saw him for the consultation, the second consultation I had. He said your voice may be worse than it is now. I think he was preparing me for the worst, which is kind of like, if people in the UK who've dealt with people in the NHS, they do tend to lower your expectation of outcomes to help the process of healing and recovering more better than what you would expect. That's my experience in the NHS. I don't know how many surgeons took part. I believe Saipal was one of 2 surgeons that operated on me. They went in through my mouth. The mass was on the right hand. It was on my right hand side next to my voice box. It was just a white mass, and they removed it. They were going to take a biopsy and maybe remove it, or they were just going to take a biopsy depending on what the mass was. After surgery, the nurses all reassured me, and the literature, the paperwork I got afterwards reassured me that in their preliminary exploration, examination of the mass, it might not be the C word. It might not be the C word. That was their initial assessment. they reassured me that they don't think it's anything more serious than that. I haven't had the biopsy results back, but I would have thought that if it was serious, I would have heard Friday, or as of today, the 13th of January 2025, they would have contacted me. So hopefully it's not the C word, the dreaded C word. It doesn't look like that. The last few months have been very, very, very difficult for me. It's very difficult to explain. There have been moments over the last 2 months where I've been quite upset. I have shed a few tears. I want to apologise. I want to take this opportunity, if my sister sees this, to apologise to her for making her think that it was maybe more serious than it was. That was not my intention. I was just relaying what I was being told. Recently there has been a question over my weight, and over the period leading up to Christmas and after Christmas I'd started to lose a lot of weight. I thought I was losing weight because I was poorly. I have now been told that it probably wasn't that. It was down to the fact that where I was so concerned about myself and the people around me, that I'll explain in a minute, I just didn't have an appetite. I just wasn't hungry. I had a lot of worry, I had a lot of concern, I had a lot of intrepidation, and so I didn't want to eat. I wasn't eating, and that's why I lost 2 kilograms from the period that I'd last been weighed, and then over Christmas I lost 7 pounds. But before the operation, the nurses reassured me that I had put on a little bit of weight, and that made me feel a bit more relieved, but I was still concerned. So apologies, sister, if you thought I was exaggerating. I wasn't exaggerating, I was just relaying. She hasn't said this to me, but I'm worried that it's very difficult to say. When you're in a situation where you're faced with your own mortality, it's very difficult to gauge what you should and shouldn't be doing and what you should and shouldn't be saying to people. I have a little kitten, well, she's nearly a year old next month, Kath, which is, as I've explained, is Cornish for cat. She is lovely. Over the last 2 months, I have really worried about what would happen to her. Who would look after her? Where would she go? What would she do? I was worried about my friends. I was worried about losing my friends. I was worried about how they would take it if something did bad happen to me. I felt like I was letting Danny down because I was poorly and he's poorly, and I didn't feel like I was doing enough to. It's really difficult to say. I was just very concerned. It wasn't necessarily dying. I wasn't frightened of dying or anything like that. I was just worried about everybody around me and not being able to see my friends anymore, and watching Kath get older and grow up and become an adult cat and a senior cat. And I don't really have much contact with my family. Not necessarily just down to my own wishes, but my baby brother lives in South Wales. He's training for the priesthood in the Welsh church. My sister lives out in Lowford, which is a few miles from Southampton, but it's very difficult to get there by bus, and I don't drive. And it's very difficult to get back from by bus. There's like one bus that goes out there, and it only runs for certain hours of the day, so it's not like I can just hop on a bus and go see her. So I was worried about that, not really having much to do with my family or any communication with my family too much. And I was very conscious of the fact that I was in touch with my sister, and I was just worrying them, and I didn't want to worry anybody. I have been a smoker, not so much now, but I have been a smoker since I was 13 years old, and I smoke solidly quite a lot, and in other stages of my life only a little bit, since I was 13, and I'm 48 now, 49 in March, and that I have had a break of 4 years in between those periods where I didn't smoke anything at all. I gave up. But as I've relayed in other videos and stuff, I had a very dear friend to me who I was very fond of die, and then my dad died, and then my brother died, and all in quick succession, all within the space of 2 years. And that just made me go back to smoking again. I didn't really care anymore. I didn't really give a shit about myself too much. It was like everybody special to you was taken away from you at some point, and I didn't really care. I just wanted to do this video to touch base with everybody, to say I'm alright. The mass has been removed. It doesn't look like it's the C stuff. My voice is different, it's deeper, and one good byproduct of it is I can sing again. Now, I haven't been able to sing or hold in tune for about over a year. It's been very difficult to sing, and I thought that was down to something else I was doing at the time and smoking, but it would appear that it was the mass on this side of my throat, inside there, that was causing me not to be able to sing or sound the way I used to. So I can sing again, which is good. I'm relieved about that, because me and my brothers and sisters were part of the St. Peter's Church Choir when we were younger, and we were professionally trained to sing, and we can all belt out a tune. We're all quite good at singing, so to lose the ability to sing, especially Simon and Garfunkel tracks that my parents used to like me singing to them, was a bit, I didn't like that. But I can sing now. I haven't really belted a tune out, I've just tried to get somewhere. If you wonder what that noise is, it's my little calf cat. She's in there playing with her toys that Sarah got her. There's not much more to be said other than I will try to continue with the videos. I will do the radio show. I am back. I want to thank everybody who's shown me support and love online and on social media through this operation. Thank you all for being there, especially my close friends and family. You've been very special to me. Some people who I didn't expect reached out. Please all look after yourselves, and I will endeavour to do a video in the next few days to a few weeks time. So thanks, ducks, and I will see you again soon. Goodbye.